All right, so the zombie hordes have reached my base, and so now we're in the middle of a siege, and so we should play this out. But one thing I should point out is the fact that the actual sieges themselves have not really changed at all at this point. Oh my gosh, I'm being screamed at by this disgusting monster. So, like, we've got a lot of ambitions for this feature and how it's going to be developed over time, but we're going to the PTR right now. We're going live to the public test realm without having completed the feature yet. So we've actually got a few areas where we're hoping to make a difference over time, but we haven't quite done it yet. And I think one of those examples is siege difficulty. So how does it work right now in the build that's going to go to the public test realm?
It works basically the same way that live game works. Which if you look at the base screen, you can see that threat bar, which is
That's right.
essentially is representative of the noise that
I'm
your
getting
community is
attacked.
making. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. It'll be a little tough right now, but I
Right
can
there, right
explain
here.
it. But
Here's the threat level.
yeah, the threat bar. So essentially, that's kind of reflective of how much noise your community is making, and that directly influences the siege intensity currently in the game. That's not to say that we're not considering changing that. That's something we're actually looking at. We're thinking about making it so that kind of infestation presence and severity and number of infestations is actually what affects the overall siege intensity. But that's not what's going into the public test realm currently. That's still something that's a future thing that we're playing with. But yeah,
Right.
the current functionality is basically it's based on your community noise that determines how hard your siege is going to be.
I think our vision for sieges is that these infestation horde triggered sieges will replace completely the randomly timed sieges. And so since we're putting sieges now in like a completely preventable map strategy game, the intensity of them, we imagine that we're going to be able to get closer to the original vision of sieges, which is like those scenes from all the zombie movies
Yeah.
that you're familiar with the hordes banging on the walls and everyone barely makes it out alive.
Yeah, and you can
Yeah.
probably remember this a little bit from State of Decay 1 as well. Those of you who played State of Decay 1, you can probably remember that it was hordes converging on your home that would cause a siege experience. Which is, really sort of different from the way State of Decay 2 worked. And now we're kind of getting back closer to that original experience. By the way, I think there's some kind of hidden zombie that's making it impossible for me to clear the siege. So it looks like, we've got a bug. That's the kind of thing you expect, especially when you're going live very early with a feature. And so I thought I'd teleport away and back to see if I could make that get fixed, but apparently no. So I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm just going to complete this mission, complete the siege mission with the cheats, and we'll just say that this siege is done. But yeah, but that's, again, that's why we go live in the public test realm. If there's bugs out there to be found, we would love to have your, involvement helping us find them. Because that's, this is a very, these kinds of big systemic changes to the game, they're the kind of thing that it's very difficult to just test locally with a handful of people, because we'll have a limited number of play styles, we'll have a limited range of experience, and be able to go live to thousands of you out there who play this in the public test realm on Steam and can send us feedback, like that makes a massive difference to our ability to recognize what a feature like this needs and how we can make it better. So I was going to do something. Oh, right. I think I was going to turn down the infestation speed is no longer going to be at 100. It's going to be back down to 1 again, because I think that I have made this map absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, we got infestations all over the place. We've got infestations up here too, coming from these plague hearts. I'm sure that eventually they're going to target my power station over here. And right now, they completely own my my pump station. So maybe while we answer some questions from the chat, maybe I should go and try to clear out my pump station and get that place back. So I'm just switching.
It's cool that you can see the line of infestations from the northern plague hearts.
I was gonna comment on that. I don't think we directly commented on it, but one of the other changes we're making is the just the behavior of how spreading works. Because currently, basically, it's kind of random which sites they decide to infest.
Yeah.
and the one of the things we're changing is that it's going to try to actually spread towards the player space. Like, it's going to be aware of your presence, and it's going to kind of be reaching out as like trying to attack your base.
You're gonna see tendrils coming towards you. Holy crap! This place is also a nightmare.
Yeah, and it's more about it's trying to expand its territory and take out nearby threats rather than it just being random like it was previously.
So it's not even like it's spreading out randomly, prioritizing your sites. It actively, even when it's too far away to reach your sites, it's actively trying to move in that direction. Like you should feel like there's an amoeba reaching out to grab you.
Yeah, essentially, or like the front lines of a war. It's pushing the front forwards, essentially.
Yeah.
It's constantly expanding its territory and trying to get closer and closer to you, so it can take out any surrounding threats. It's
Jacob
active and aware.
Jacob very wants to know: will they attack your like friendly enclaves?
Not yet. So no, currently that's just something we're not ready to deal with. That's of course one of the first things that started getting talked about. I would love if we could address that in a future update, but it's one of those things that who knows what the future is going to hold. But I think we're definitely talking about it all the time and thinking about it. Whether or not we'll actually get the chance to do it, that's depends on the schedule and what else comes up, what other priorities we have.
Yeah, it is a little different because we already have a ready-made way to handle a siege at the player's base, and we already have like an obvious consequence for when they arrive at one of your outposts, which is they take it over and you can take it back. Oh, shush. Yeah. But we don't have something like that ready-made for enclaves. So
yeah, there's no such thing as a siege experience in an enclave currently. It would require some whole new system we'd have to come up with and figure out. It would be a pretty large project, I think. So this is why we're not ready to tackle it quite yet. But it would be awesome, and we would love to do that. I mean, I might as well. I want to. A few of these other questions that have popped up. There's a lot of things we're thinking about.
Feel free to field those while I'm just trying desperately not to die.
A few people, it looks like, have brought up the question about, placing mines on outposts, or bringing back the State of Decay 1 kind of defensive options that you had. That is something we are actively discussing, or we're thinking about. Like, we're trying to figure out if it's doable. I mean, because there's a lot of technical considerations to happen there, but it's something we're thinking about. We want to at least give you some methods of actively kind of preventing infestations and sieges and stuff like that, whether it be through outposts or base actions, who knows. It's all still kind of up in the air, but we are actively talking about that stuff, and it is classic State of Decay 1, so bringing that stuff back would be fantastic. I think I would be really excited to see that stuff again.
So I'm trying to throw as much fire as I can at these zombies. Because, unfortunately, I don't know why I decided I was going to play in the Nightmare Zone. Because whenever I'm trying to, kill the zombies that make up the infestation, I end up attracting a bunch of additional zombies to join the infestation.
It's making the infestation worse.
You're helping.
Yeah, I think there might be more zombies here than last time, than before I came. So I'm switching to my suppressed Echo Lab weapon.
You're functionally a screamer.
Yeah, exactly. I'm my own screamer. I don't need screamers.
You're just screaming with guns.
So, were there any other questions in the chat that you wanted to follow up on? If you got the Slack thread open, or I can go check that out.
There's a question from Gear Dread. Whether there's a limit on how many, limit or cap on how many outposts can be infested, or can literally everything get infested? Currently, everything can get infested, or at least what's within the PTR. So if you don't, keep infestations in check, then you could theoretically lose all your outposts. They don't specifically move towards your outposts. Currently, they're focused on getting rid of the players themselves. So they will spread towards the base actively. If outposts are within range and they see them, then they'll go and try to infest them. But they won't be actively moving towards your outposts across the map.
There's a cap on how many infestations can be on the map at once, though, right? So
yeah, we do have a limit on how many infestations we allow to exist. So there is that, at least.
But once you hit that, you have bigger problems than your outposts, because the behavior is every infestation horde will now become a siege horde coming for your base.
Yeah, that doesn't happen currently. That's something we're thinking about doing for the future. But yeah. I don't think
Oh,
we do it currently. I
I
can't remember
need-
what we've actually got checked in at this point.
Oh, and it
Things are
occurs
moving so fast.
I've got absolutely no health consumables anywhere in my community because this is a cheated community that I just put to get through together for the streams, and so I think I might have to actually cheat myself some consumables in order to keep this character from dying. So let's give them a first aid kit. Let's give him some bottles of painkillers. There we go. That's lovely.